Hey everybody, welcome back to Magic Orthodoxy. My name's David, and this is a magic book review. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for being here. I'm so excited because I got my copy of David Copperfield's History of Magic from Simon & Schuster. I pre-ordered this several months ago. And of course, Amazon's really great about getting you published books on their release date. And so I was able to get this and already read it because it's 272 pages and it's a lot of really beautiful pictures. And so it was such a joy to read. $27 right now on Amazon. I want to tell you all about it. First of all, the book is written by David Copperfield, Richard Wiseman, David Britland, and Homer Liwag, who's also a magician, is the photographer in this book. 272 pages, like I said. What's the book about? Well, as its cover suggests, it's a history of magic. But it's not so much a complete history as it is more coffee table book history. And it's told through the lens of David Copperfield as he highlights 28 of history's most incredible magicians and magic books. The authors begin with Robert Houdin, and they finish with Copperfield himself. And through the book, the authors show how these magicians were determined to use their art form to break free from the limitations placed on them by social class and tradition, even though many started off on the outskirts of society. Plus, these 28 incredible stories are also accompanied by over 100 exclusive photographs of collectibles and rarities taken by Homer Liwag from Copperfield's exclusive Museum of Magic in Las Vegas. Now, I want to go through the chapters, I do, but I don't want to go through all of them because I want you to buy the book, I want you to read the book. So I'll just highlight some of the chapters and some of the magicians that I was particularly drawn to. Chapter 1 is The Discovery of Witchcraft by Reginald Scott. This is a book that was written in 1584. The book is a skeptical recording that debunks popular and scholarly beliefs about witchcraft, magic, and other superstition. Scott argues in his book that belief in magic was both irrational and unchristian. And it's widely believed that Shakespeare had read this book and that it was one of the sources for the witches in Macbeth. Chapter 2 is about Robert Houdin. He is known as the father of modern magic, and he had an extraordinary array of illusions and amazing automata. The piece highlighted in this chapter is a model of a French bakery that is about the size of a dollhouse. And during the show, Houdin would declare that there was a tiny pastry chef who lived inside who could bake anything. And spectators would choose their favorite cake, and they would see this chef working away inside the bakery. Finally, the pastry chef appeared at the front door with a tiny, dainty model of what the spectators called out. Chapter 5 is about Alexander, who is one of the richest magicians of his generation, not just from ticket sales, but often from rather nefarious means. During his show, spectators jotted down their concerns, and Alexander appeared to use his mystical powers to offer advice and guidance. On stage, he seemed to be wise and caring. Off stage, Alexander was a serial adulterer with a reputation for violence and extortion. Chapter 8 is about Harry Kellar, known as the Dean of American Magicians. He enjoyed both public recognition and financial success. He had probably the largest and most elaborate stage illusion show that was touring during the late 1800s and early 1900s. He is best known for his spectacular version of the levitation, in which a girl mysteriously rises up from a couch, floats across the stage to the audience, and then vanishes into thin air. Chapter 11 is about the expert at the card table, originally titled Artifice, Ruse, and Subterfuge at the Card Table. It was published in 1902 by S.W. Erdnase. The expert at the card table is considered the Bible of card technique, one of the most extensive books on the art of sleight of hand, and it is considered to be one of the greatest books on card technique ever written, and its contents are just as relative today as they were a century ago. Chapter 13 is about Chung Ling Soo, billed as the marvelous Chinese conjurer, but he was actually born in New York, and his name was William Ellsworth Robinson. But probably he is most famous for being mortally wounded during a performance on stage at the Wood Green Empire in London. He got shot during his bullet catch trick in 1918. Chapter 14 is about Harry Houdini. who doesn't know the name Houdini? Houdini was a Hungarian-born American escape artist. He was an illusionist. He was a stunt performer. Houdini has come to represent both the ultimate symbol of liberation and courage and death-defying hope. Chapter 19 is about Cardini Richard Valentine Pitchford, who was a master magician who performed under the name Cardini. One of the unusual features about his magical card performances was that he did everything wearing white gloves, and he was the president of the Society of American Magicians 3 times. Chapter 24 is about the man who said these words: "If you want to be an artist, you must devote your life to it. Chess, music, anything. After you get so high, you realize if you want to be truly great, you have to give up everything else. You have to dedicate your life to your art." Of course, I'm talking about Dai Vernon. During the height of his popularity as a stage performer, Vernon performed at private parties for wealthy and influential clients. He wrote numerous magazine articles, and he wrote several books. Vernon helped establish Hollywood's Magic Castle, where he spent his final decades as magician in residence. Among those who benefited from his guidance and expertise were celebrated magicians Ricky Jay and Doug Henning. Chapter 27 is about Doug Henning, who was a magician, entertainer. He created and starred in several television specials that aired on NBC and CBS under the title Doug Henning's World of Magic. He is best remembered for his Broadway musical, The Magical Show, which ran from 1974 to 1976, and he was nominated for a Tony Award for it in 1974. And then lastly, Chapter 28, David Copperfield, the man himself. Born September 16th, 1956, he is one of the most important magicians of the 20th century. Forbes described Copperfield as the most commercially successful illusionist of all time. And the Emmy Awards have honored Copperfield with 21 Emmys for his magic TV shows. Plus, in addition to decades of television events, worldwide tours, and critically acclaimed Broadway shows, Copperfield continues to confound and delight his audiences with unbelievable illusions and charming stories. I have been blessed to see David Copperfield on stage twice. I saw him a long time ago when I was a kid. He came to Sacramento and performed at Memorial Auditorium. And then I saw him later, of course, at his Las Vegas residency. I went with my wife. He threw something out into the audience to get people to come up on stage. He said he was looking for a lady. I caught it and was so excited I stood up, and David corrected and said, you're not a lady. And so I passed it to my wife. She got to go up on stage and be part of David Copperfield's final illusion that was an appearance of a car on stage. And during the performance, there was a boombox with a cassette tape and a big unfolded prediction. My wife got to keep the cassette tape and the unfolded prediction, and they are some of the Copperfield treasures we have in our house. But let's go back to the collection, right? Because this book is really about the collection that David has and how he's highlighting certain pieces from that collection to tell you the story of magic. So your other question might be, well, where did this collection come from? Originally, some of the pieces belonged to another magician named John Mulholland, and he died in 1970, and his collection came up for sale in 1991. Copperfield bought it, and since then has grown it to 6 times its original size. And currently, Copperfield's museum is known as the International Museum and Library of the Conjuring Arts, and it's now hidden and tucked away somewhere on the outskirts of Las Vegas. So what are some of the other things I can tell you about the book? There's a further reading section in the back. So let's say you're reading the chapter on Kellar and you want to know more about him. You can flip to the further reading section in the back, and Copperfield lists some other resources that'll help you flesh out more of that story. There's also a whole chapter about Orson Welles' connection to the world of magic and illusion in a very special version of this book that's only available at Barnes & Noble. So you won't get the Orson Welles chapter unless you get the book from Barnes & Noble. In fact, there's even an exclusive custom Hudson deck of cards that is a companion piece to this book, which I think this is like the only David Copperfield deck of cards I've ever even seen in my life. And I did not get one. I did not get one, and I'm actually very sad because I love playing cards and I love David Copperfield. But maybe you'll be lucky enough to pick one up. And this book is also going to be available as an audiobook which will be read by David Copperfield himself. Now, of course, there are other books out there that talk about the history of magic, but none told through the lens of David Copperfield, and none that give you an exclusive backstage look at David Copperfield's wonderful museum. It's a beautiful book. Homer Liweg's pictures are absolutely gorgeous, and I'm so proud to have this book and even more proud to display it on my shelf. Like I said, you can pick up yours pretty much anywhere books are sold. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey, would you like to learn a magic trick? You would? Did you know I have a second channel? That's right. I have a second channel where I teach beginning level magic tricks. Magic Channel Card Tricks is a place that you can go to learn tricks with ordinary items you can find around the house. Paper clips, rubber bands, pens, and of course, decks of cards. I teach beginning level card tricks, simple card tricks, simple card forces that anybody could learn. I also review magic kits. So if you go buy a magic kit from the store, your local Walmart or Target, or you get a magic kit for Christmas, I'll go over exactly what's inside. And I'll even teach you how to perform with some of those tricks that you get inside those kits. Plus, I'm even gonna give you video instruction to very simple, very inexpensive tricks that you can pick up at your favorite magic store. Sometimes you get those tricks and the instructions are just on a tiny little piece of typewritten paper and you have no idea how to do that trick. Don't throw that trick away. Don't put it in a box. Come back to Magic Channel Card Tricks and I will teach you how to use that trick as well. Or maybe you're not a beginner. Maybe you're not a beginner, but maybe you have a niece or a nephew or a little brother or sister that you could share this channel with them. This is a great, safe place, kid-friendly, where they can learn beginning level magic. Make sure you head on over to Magic Channel Card Tricks, give my videos a like, subscribe to that channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for being a part of Magic Orthodoxy.